Whose trance are you in anyway? What is hypnosis and how often are we in trance? The quick and simple answer from my perspective is that we're in trance all of the time. It's only really the level of trance that varies. Let me explain. We experience life through our five senses: visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory and gustatory. That's simply the initial time, space, matter and energy raw data part. We then pretty much instantly process the experience further. We do this through various complex and unique filters, so we can create an internal representation of that experience. It's at this point that we apply our sixth sense, which is our own personal awareness. This is where we give the experience its meaning, good, bad or indifferent. To do all of this, we have to be in trance. This is because our neurology simply couldn't cope with the enormous volume of data that's available to us every waking second of the day. So to function, we have to delete, make invisible, distort, at times wildly skew, and generalize, link, associate and exaggerate the filtered components of the experience in a way that allows us to understand it. We see only what we believe to be true. Now that's great if we're in a positive trance state of infinite possibilities, because in that type of trance we'll grab onto data that works for us, and we'll get rid of the data that doesn't. If, however, we have limiting beliefs and negative emotional associations that we've accumulated over the years, installed by various different well-meaning individuals, we may well only allow ourselves to see things that fit into that model. There are some very handy rules already hardwired into our neurology, such as perspective and shadow. We know that a tiny chair way over there is the same size as the chair right beside us, because of this very important set of rules. It allows us to move about in our three-dimensional world without endlessly banging into things. We're also very much programmed to see patterns. Here's a very simple example of both of these rules in action. So here's an interesting demonstration of how the brain does process in a way that looks for associations and looks for patterns. Patterns in life, patterns in all that we understand and look at. I've scanned in a picture, and this is a picture that I have, and I have just simply scanned it in. And the little square of colour in the corner is just a square from the edge of the actual hard copy that I have. Now, within this picture, it's a two-dimensional picture, but it's drawn in a three-dimensional way. And you'll notice that there's an A and there's a B square. Now, A and B, to all intents and purposes, look like they're different colours. That is the main thing that you could say about the A and B squares. So I'm going to demonstrate that that's not the actual reality that this picture represents. So if I move my little square over onto the A square, you can see that it's the same colour as the A square on the picture. And if I move it across, it seems like it changes colour. It doesn't actually change colour at all. It's the exact same little bit of cropped colour. And that is actually the same colour as the B square. So let's move it back. Yep, it's the same colour as the A square. Yet it's the same colour as the B square. So the reality of this is actually that A and B are the exact same colours. And I know this is a digitally remastered scan of an actual live card, but you'll have to take my word for it. It is just a scan of the live card, and A and B are exactly the same colours as this little square of material will show you. A is that colour, B is that colour, A is that colour, B is that colour. Now that is the fact of this picture. The fact that you can't see it is because your brain is processing the information and filling in the blanks. It's actually deleting and distorting and generalizing the reality that you see. And the most potent part of this is the pattern part. Your brain is picking up the patterns that it can see, and it makes it so. We also have the rule of shadow, which gives us depth and contrast and perspective. So our brain is working with several different rules, thus making the picture look how it looks, and yet the reality of how it truly is not what we're seeing. How is that? Interesting, isn't it? The reason we can't see the two squares as being the same colour, even although now we know that they are, is because of all of the noise around them. Now here's an image with the noise partially taken away, and now we can easily see the true reality. The important point here for you is, what could be the hypnotically induced trance-based metaphorical noise that is going on in your life that thus far you haven't been able to see beyond? Maybe it's time to reprogram the trance that you're choosing to be in. Hypnosis is an incredibly powerful and vital part of our everyday life, so best we use it to our advantage.